What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the K-pop Kimchi podcast, where we love spicy kimchi and hot spicy K-pop takes. I'm your host, Justin Trudeau, with my co-host, Brian Limper, and after a week hiatus, we're back to podcasting.
It feels really weird, honestly.
It feels really long, like way longer than a week.
I was thinking about it today, and I was like, dang, it feels like I haven't done a podcast in like months.
I know.
And it's literally been not even like, what? Oh, it was a little more than a week, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, that's weird.
Pretty much. That's how I felt too. But yeah, we actually tried to do a podcast last week. Things just didn't work out, and since it was Thanksgiving, and I mean, who knows who all actually celebrates Thanksgiving from our listeners, but we do. We were just like, let's just take a break and we'll scoop things along next week. So here we are, and we're back. I'm excited, man. It was weird, like you said, not doing it, but I'm glad we're back.
Yeah, I know. I literally was thinking today at work, I'm like, man, gotta do the podcast now. It feels super weird because I feel like I haven't done a podcast in so long, but
I don't know why that's just how it worked, but it just felt like that. I was like, wow, it feels like we haven't done it in a whole year.
time's crazy, man.
Time is extra crazy. But
we're
back, and we're excited, and we're ready to talk about some K-pop.
We're back. So what have you been up to, though? Anything fun?
Not a whole lot. I was going to ask, how was your Thanksgiving? But I would know because we got to hang out pretty much the whole day.
Yeah, I was going to say, you were there, so I mean.
And it was awesome. It was super chill.
So how was my Thanksgiving?
It was fun. I mean, first we went to your uncle's house, right?
Oh, yeah, we did.
We went to your uncle's house for like normal Thanksgiving stuff, eating turkey and all that fun stuff. And then we took a road trip and went to Denny's. And came back and went a little Black Friday shopping and then watched some Produce 48.
But Black Friday shopping, he means we literally walked in to one store to find what we wanted, saw the line, and then we left. We're like, yeah, no, pass.
Well, usually what we do for our Black Friday shopping is go to the mall and go to Target and maybe Walmart. And we did all those things.
Yeah, I don't really know if you can consider it actually shopping. It's more like Black Friday, just walking around.
We kind of just walk around because there's people all walking around too, and just it's really for the vibe of it all. Not really the crazy shopping, but it's just for the tradition at this point, because we've done it for a super long time.
I'm also just really disappointed. Like we always say that we like never see any crazy fights, like people getting shot and stabbed with machetes.
Well, we always see videos. Well, you always see videos online of people on Black Friday like busting through doors at like a Target or a Best Buy, and there's like it's like zombie apocalypse people. But I've never seen that once. It's just I've seen like plenty of people, but I've never seen anybody going crazy like that.
No, that, but like we're in Springfield, so it's not like we're in like a place where there's not like a ton of people.
No, yeah, it's like it's a good sized city, and there's lots of people out, like lots of people at these stores. Like the lines were super long. I just never seen just like the craziness of someone trying to get their TV and like punching someone else in their face to try and like get the last one.
Yeah, it's really weird. I just want to experience one time in my life.
Maybe someday, but that was not this one, and that hasn't been any of them. But it was fun though. It was nice to just hang out, and we went on a nice road trip too. And it was nice to eat Denny's since Denny's closed here. Shout out Denny's.
If you don't like Denny's, I don't know what's wrong with you, because Denny's is the bomb.
It's just a great restaurant, especially eating pancakes or a skillet on Thanksgiving Day. There's not anything quite like it. It was good.
I will say though, in your guys' defense, Denny's has gotten kind of expensive lately, so.
Yeah, so if you like Denny's, still support your local Denny's, even though, they're just trying to make ends meet too. Just like all of us out here. We're all just grinding.
I mean, you got to keep the lights on somehow, right?
Exactly.
The bacon's not going to cook itself.
But yeah, that was a fun road trip. to Edwardsville. I mean, it's like an hour or so it's not too bad. But
it was cool though. We used to go on road trips all the time, but since I moved, it's kind of like.
Yeah, we used to.
I go on a road trip to Springfield by myself, or you come on a road trip by yourself to here. So it's not like you get to actually like go and do stuff together like we used to.
Well, here's the fun thing, where I live and where Brian used to live, it's like 30 minutes, 25 minutes away from where I live. And you can take a highway there and go straight there. But, or you can go a different way, which is like through small towns that take you there. And it's like smaller roads. And like you don't get there as fast, but it's just more chill of a drive. And that's pretty much what we did through where Brian used to live all the way up into this other place. And it really brought back a lot of good memories because you're right, we always used to do that and it was super fun.
Yeah, we used to go on like trips all the time, like just driving around like through the like what do you call it? Not really cornfields, but like the back roads. There's like corn everywhere.
Yeah, there's like farms and there's like you drive and then there's like a little tiny town which is like really really tiny with like a gas station and that's it. And then you drive through more farms and then there's another tiny town. And then eventually, the place we ended up where we ate is like a solid sized town. So it had a lot of stuff, but
It's a college town. If
Yeah.
you guys have ever heard of SIUE Edwardsville, that's where it was.
It was fun though. It was fun to just do that because I don't even, when was even the last time we like went on those roads together, like driving?
Oh, dude, it's been years.
It's been a really really freaking long time. So
Well, when did you graduate from college?
that was 15. So at
So-
least 4 years ago.
At least 4 years, because I mean,
When
time
did you
flies.
move? Didn't you moved before that though? So
Well, remember for a while oh wait, you're right, I did because I
Yeah.
came to your senior night and we had to drive down for your senior night.
because I remember waking up sometimes at college in my dorm on like a weekend, and it was after my season. And I was like, I don't have anything to do. I'm just gonna drive up and hang out, and I drive all the way up there from like St. Louis.
Yeah, it's a long trip,
So-
man. It's a haul.
Yeah, it is a haul. But yeah, you moved before, so it was even before. So it's at least like 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's gonna be like 5 or 6 years.
That's
man.
crazy.
That's crazy.
I
It's a long
didn't. I
time.
didn't even realize it's been that long. Oh my gosh,
I didn't either.
that's crazy.
Nuts.
Maybe that's
That's
why
like
it
a-
was. Maybe that's why it was so fun.
That's like a whole kid that's like in school doing
It's
stuff.
like a whole grown adult. That's like the span of a life of some K-pop groups. So
That is true.
maybe even longer. But
Speaking of the span of life of K-pop groups, if you guys haven't gone and checked out CL's new stuff she came out with, go support CL. She deserves it.
yeah, I need to do that. I still didn't do it yet. But
Be like Justin and go support.
go
support
listen with
CL
me for
and
the first
listen-
time to listen to CL, former member of 2NE1.
I'm really holding out hope that since the whole YG thing in her contract has ended, this means that we might get what everybody wants and well, I mean, if I can make thoughts of you, it'll tell you what I'm talking about.
That would not, that would help. That would be
21 comeback, like well, not really comeback, but
Just like
21
a
I want them to come back and
collaboration.
make music together
a
again.
collaboration of people that used to be in the same group.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm pretty sure Park Bomb, like just based off her Queendom stuff, really just misses being in 21. So
Yeah, she
Hopefully
just
they can make that happen.
anytime any of the other groups they'd like cover a 2NE1 song or anything, she'd like start bawling her eyes out. So yeah, I think
hopefully
it's
that
safe to say that she does miss it, and they're all super young still, so it's not like they can't do anything.
So let's make that happen.
Yes, and speaking of make things happen, let's make this episode happen. And there's only one way, since we're coming back, to start this episode, and you know what time it is.
All
It's-
right, so
You tell the fans.
it's time for, as we promised, to give you guys the update on the next rounds of eliminations on Produce 48.
You betcha.
And I know there's been a lot of sketchy stuff going on with Produce 48. Hopefully, now that Mama is over, we'll find out if Eisman's still going to be a group or not.
I hope we can find out.
Hopefully they are, because if they're not, it's going to be super sad. And that's literally what every one of our podcasts is going to be about from now until the end of time. But yeah, so we're going to talk about the next elimination rounds of Produce 48. It really wasn't. I thought it would be 5 episodes like the last one, but they actually got in and like narrowed it down to 30 members, like the 30 girls that were left, like pretty fast. I think it was like episode 7 maybe? 7 or
Maybe.
8, something like that.
Maybe it took like 3 or so to do it.
Yeah, I honestly didn't really like go back and look into it like I probably should have. But yeah, so it started out and we got some of the best concept evaluations of all time.
It was just
Oh man.
they were super good. It just took such a long time to actually get to the performances. Like,
Yeah, because you know how they always go through like, oh, they gotta pick what they're doing. They like have a meeting. They decide who's gonna be the leader. People cry. Everyone's pretty much upset. And then they find out who's gonna be the leader. And then that's like an entire episode. Like that's what they do for an entire episode.
yeah, and well, they did that, and then they were good, but then they had the elimination before they even had the performances. So
Yeah, I was
then
gonna say.
they had to take the groups because they had all the groups that were ready, but since girls got eliminated from those groups, they had to go back and like almost reshuffle in a way and start all over with like picking, like assigning people to where they're going to go or who they want to be with, and then like getting a new leader, a new vocalist, a new face, like all, or a new center, like all that stuff. So it just was like you literally went through that whole process like twice before you even had performances.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of weird. I mean, I guess. Well, obviously, we all know now the whole show is rigged, but it's kind of weird that they like made all the trainees go through all that stuff just for like a day later for them to be like, "Yo, these are the girls getting eliminated." And who was it? Like, it wasn't Jiru, was it?
I don't
I don't
remember.
know. I don't remember. One of the girls, literally, it was just her by herself.
Oh yeah, it was. It might have
And
been
then
Drew.
and it was weird because all the girls had like in the other groups had to like go through and vote for like who they wanted was I can't remember was it who they wanted to stay in the group or who they wanted out of the group,
I think it's who they wanted to keep.
who they wanted to keep. So they like unanimously like why can't I think of the word? Um,
They just took a
anyways,
vote.
they like took a vote where nobody could like see who was voting for who basically.
Yeah, they like all
Um,
close their eyes.
and then they found out like who was staying, and it's super sad because like some girls really wanted to be in the groups because like obviously their friends and stuff are there, and they wanted to do certain like songs and concepts, and they just like freaking got booted out of the group, and they like didn't have a say or anything. They like revealed a name slowly, like they like pulled a piece of paper that had like all the names on the wall, and if your name was last, you just like got kicked out of the group, and you like had to go in like this other room with like all the other like rejects.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like we've seen that throughout the show. There's always been a group of like the last people or the leftover people form a group to do the performance, and that's pretty much what we saw with this too. Was the whole group of people that essentially people voted out or didn't want in their group. They became their own. So naturally, it just worked out that way.
And the funniest, well, I don't really know if it's funny to be honest with you, but the saddest slash funniest part was when they went to the one group and they like asked if anybody wanted to be in the group with them, and Minji was like, "Oh yeah, I really like this song. I'd like to be in this group." And then they voted and they picked Sakura, who wasn't even there.
Yeah, Sakura was on her Japan, just doing stuff in Japan for her promotions, and they're like, "Oh, Minju, you really want to be in the group? That's awesome. We're gonna take Sakura, who's not here, so you're not in the group." And she started, well, just of course, like the whole point of the show, there was just crying involved. So she instantly started like bawling her eyes out, and it was just very sad.
I mean, shit, I was bawling my eyes out. I was hella sad. I was like, "Damn, I feel so bad for
They're just
you."
savages. They're like, "All right, well, we're gonna pick someone that's not even here, and that's cool. You wanted to be with us, but see ya."
Like, "Oh, hey, yeah, so I wanted to be with you guys because you guys are awesome." And they're like, "Oh, that sounds awesome, but we're gonna go with Sakura, who's
Sakura's
not even
really
here."
great, and she doesn't even know anything about this, but we're gonna go with her. So
Yeah,
sorry.
because the AKB girls must have been off doing something because there was a bunch of them that weren't there.
Yeah,
Because remember, Hitomi was like, they had like switch roles and stuff, and she like was thinking about taking Miru's spot because she
yeah,
wasn't there.
yeah.
Um,
They just
but
had
yeah,
just some obligations that they had to attend to, I guess.
yeah, who knows where they go? They're just gonna disappear. Sometimes they weren't even there for like second eliminations.
Yeah, Miru wasn't there. Her chair was just
Yeah,
empty.
she just wasn't there. I'm trying to think of what other kind of stuff happened. Like if there's any other stuff that's kind of noteworthy. Because they ended up doing their like little group things. Um, that was the one where Isn't that where they were like doing the Blackpink song and they like all got yelled at because they were like so bad?
Maybe.
Because hold on, let me look at. I'm trying to remember like in my head like which. Because remember there was like
I don't
two
think
different concept evaluations.
this is when they had producers of songs who previously produced like songs, like actual producers who made music for other groups made a song for these specific groups. So this was new because we'd see the groups when they were practicing, like
Yeah, hold on.
they would go into the studio, and these producers would be there to kind of judge them and just hear them sing the song that they made for them, and they would just voice their opinion, which we never saw that in the show before, like them actually going into the studio.
Actually, no, hold up. Episode 6 was when they did uh episode 6. Okay, so I guess we must have just watched a lot more than I thought we did. Because episode 6 was where they did the position battles, remember?
Yes.
And that's where they danced to Ariana Grande Side to Side, which is by the way the greatest performance of all time.
Yeah.
And Sorry Not Sorry. See, it's weird because we just watched them so far apart. It feels like that they were like, because I know we had 2 concept evaluation things that happened before that. So that's when Chowon won the vocal rap category, and that's where Psy won the dance one. And then episode 8 was the one where they went into the concept evaluation, and that's when the girls got eliminated, and they went into episode 9.
Yeah.
So,
that's what we said.
I don't know. I think we just messed it up really bad.
No, we were right. That's like exactly what we said.
Because, well, we were talking about how, remember everybody left and they picked Sakura?
Yeah.
That was episode 7 and 8, but we ended after episode 5, so we didn't even go over episode 6.
I'm confused because we definitely watched all that.
No, we did watch it, but we just talked about it out of order right now. Because what we were just talking about was the second evaluations they did. We didn't talk about the first ones they did. Because there was 2 different evaluations that happened.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. We just like skipped a whole thing of evaluations.
Okay, so everything.
Yeah, they went pretty well. Okay, and moving on.
Yeah, pretty much it just did concept evaluations. Like I said, the group of all you need to remember from episode 6, from the position battle, was that the group that was Khan, Eugen. I think Eugen was there, right? No, it was Wanyang. Wanyang, Yiren, Miru, and Sion is just the greatest group of all time, and that was like my favorite performance I've ever seen in my life.
It was a super group for sure. Then they killed it.
So yeah,
at least you can just like go look up online just the performances from those evaluations.
Yeah, just watch the performances because they were all like super good. They actually have like individual fan cams for all of them.
Yeah.
Man, it's so crazy. I'm like doing it off memory, and it all just like kind of blends together. I'm like, damn.
I forgot that those ones before the last evaluations we didn't talk about those. Like I thought we did.
Yeah, because that was after. Well, I mean, shit. That was almost. This is episode 10, right?
Yeah, we've seen 10 of them. We have 2 more to go.
So in between now and when we did the first evaluations, episode 5, that was like a month ago.
Yeah. So.
Slowly but surely.
That is crazy. Yeah, I totally forgot about those. The performances were awesome. Like, don't forget those. I just thought we like already discussed those. You know.
Yeah. Also, but
I think we have kind of. I think we kind of.
Though was with Yoonbi and Chaeyoung, right?
Yeah. That one was really good too. They were both like really good. Like
that's the one Eugene was in. That was
yeah. That one was really good. And
then so. Backtrack, episode 6, they did the position thing with the dancers and the singers.
Yeah.
So we went over that. Nothing really happened. They just got kind of judged like always. And then what we've been talking about the whole time is episode 8, where they got random songs by different composers and producers.
Yeah.
That they had to perform as a concept thing. And this was... They ended up getting these random songs and switched into groups, and then there was the second elimination down to 30 girls. So like 20 plus girls got eliminated, and then they had to repick teams, and that's how we got to where we're at now when they actually did the concept evaluation.
That just like didn't make any sense to me, but I guess that's just how it went. So It was just like weird. Why would you draft teams if you knew they were gonna leave? I don't know. Whatever. But
Yeah. We haven't got to episode 11 yet, which is like the third eliminations down to 20 trainees. Really, there's nothing crazy that happened except everybody looked really good. And shout out to all of the stylists because you did a great job.
yeah, honestly, after the last few episodes that we've seen, nothing was really crazy. It was just kind of like
No, it's just like
it was people we knew. Well, we know who advances, but like people who we weren't surprised advanced, and then the performances were really good. Like
pretty much.
they're just all really really good and all super super impressive, and everyone did a good job. Like everybody did a good job.
Yeah,
It's crazy. It's crazy to think that maybe the biggest screw up that I can remember from a performance was Gyuri in the Red Velvet song. Like,
hey, that haunted her forever because she still refuses to be the lead
It's
vocal
true.
or the center because that happened.
and they replayed it 67 times, so you will not forget that she messed up that note. But other than that, I can't remember a performance that someone did bad. Like, I don't think there has been. Everyone has done really, really well.
First off, I know we always talk about how Khan didn't make like the final lineup, and that was just straight robbery, which it literally was because it was rigged. So I mean, yeah. But another person, I was listening to episode 1 earlier today, and one person we both kind of were down on, but I really think was like just amazing and should have made the lineup was Chowan from Cube.
Yeah, I mean, other than the first episode, she was really good. She was
really good.
Yeah, she was excellent, and she's a really good singer too. Just like
And all the other trainees like love her. They like love her so much.
yeah, she's really got good leadership qualities.
She's like the leader of the losers club because like all those garbage trainees were together, and they like won, and she's like just like their freaking like leader. Like they love her so much.
She took the first evaluations or whatever. She took the group of like all the people nobody wanted, and they won the whole thing. So I think that just gained her a lot of respect.
She LeBron James carried those Cavaliers.
I mean, that's literally what she did. I just don't. She was just so weird in the first episode.
Yeah, she might have just been like awkward or scared or like intimidated.
She just looked so confused of like where she was. She just like kept looking around. I honestly thought she was like on some kind of weird drugs or something. But like,
well, granted, she was like one of the only trainees. Her and Minji were like the only trainees that came in as like solo trainees, like without anybody else.
Yeah, so I'm sure that kind of was just like tough. She was probably, I mean, you're right. She's probably just like nervous and stuff, but she was just weird to me. But other than that, she's killed it and done really well. Did really well.
Another takeaway from that is Haiwan and Minami is the greatest friendship I've ever seen in my entire life.
They're just better than Batman and Robin out here. They're like the dynamic duo.
They really are. My favorite quote from the whole thing was at the end. It like showed the 4 girls who had a chance of being in like the very last spot and like making the cut of 30 girls, and one of them was Haiwan, and the national producer guy was like, so what were you just thinking right now? And she goes, oh, I was thinking I was gonna go visit Minami and her family. And I was like, wow, she really just doesn't care. She just wants to go hang out with Minami.
She just is trying to figure out a way to go to Japan and get that plane ticket. But okay, people have said this a lot and we've said it a lot, but I forgot the guy's name. The singer dude, the lead, the main, the host of the whole show. Why are they always so excited when he walks into the room?
I don't know. I feel like that's just something they have to do. Is just be excited because like they act like I don't know, like it's the second coming of Jesus every time he like walks anywhere. Like they've never seen him before.
Well, it's just people have said this too about the show. They're like, oh, you get super pumped because you think it's a new celebrity or just like someone different. And they're freaking out, and you're like, oh, who could it be? And then it's just that guy again. And I'm like, girls, you see him literally every single day for like hours. Why are we still freaking out? Like, it's just like the first time. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It really bugs me.
My other favorite one is when it's like the one episode was like, oh yeah, he snuck in to check out the trainees, and he literally just walked through the door.
Yeah, and I was like, why would this guy have to sneak anywhere? He's like the head host of the show. Why would he have to sneak anywhere? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't get it, but I mean that pretty much covers the. How many episodes was it? 6, 7, 8, 9.
We watched a lot.
I guess it's more episodes than I thought. I thought it was only a couple, but
Yeah, I thought it was only a couple too. I totally forgot about the whole middle ones that we watched.
yeah, so did I. It's kind of weird because they like kind of blended together because there's two different kinds of evaluations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so sorry, fans. I tried doing this off memory. It didn't work out very well. But like I said, there's about a month or so in between watching it. So I mean, it's kind of
Yeah, it's a while. But we only have 2 more left and then we're done with the whole show. It's crazy that we're almost done, even though it's been done. But we're
did we
almost done, so
did we watch episode 10?
yeah. Or no, I think we have
I
I
think we
think
have
we
10,
did.
11, and
Yeah.
12.
Yeah.
Did we?
Okay, 3. I thought we maybe did watch 10. Maybe we didn't. I don't remember. I hope not, so we have more to go.
Yeah, I don't remember. But
We'll
sorry for
figure
the
it
really,
out.
really bad recapturing of what happened
Just
in those
go watch
episodes.
all the performances from the groups because they're really good. Like literally every single one of them is really good.
My excuse is that I'm still in a really dark place over this Eyes controversy, so whenever I see them, I just cry, so it all just kind of blends together. So, I mean,
Yeah, I mean we haven't even heard anything about them in a while besides that they just like aren't going to the award shows which are going on now and that's about it. So hopefully we hear something about their future soon.
speaking of futures of groups, how sad are you about the Momoland news?
It sucks. It's just really a bummer. I mean, honestly, Taya was like cool, but I didn't pay too much attention to her. But I really liked Yanwu a lot. Like Yanwu was
Yanu was
awesome,
like one of the most
and
popular
she was
members.
like she was always there because with Momoland people were kind of gone and just doing stuff and sick and I don't know. It was always for a little while there. It was tough to have all of them in one place, but like Yanwu was always there, trying to do like just the promotions and all that. So the fact that she's leaving, it's just a bummer. I think that just leaves a big gap in the group, and it just sucks because I really was a fan of her. I'm glad that they're still, going to do their thing though. Like I'm glad they're not just like we're just gonna pull the plug on Momoland, but it sucks that she's gonna be gone,
Yeah,
and
so for
most
those of
likely Daisy
you
too, which is gonna be the worst.
who don't know, this last week, Momoland's entertainment company, I think is it M&D or something like that?
I think
It
so
used,
because
it used to be Double Kick, but now
it
it
of
got
like
changed.
Momoland. Just the letters are like there's like a few similar letters in the
Yeah.
so
Anyways, their company announced that Taya and Yanu have officially left the group. Teha left like health reasons, and Yanu left to focus on her acting career. Um, and then they said that Daisy's future is still being decided, which I mean, based off what I've seen, that's probably not a good thing.
yeah,
Or it's
considering
not
she
going to end
hasn't
well.
promoted in like over a year or so.
Yeah, I mean, Teo's been gone because she was left with. Well, she didn't leave, but she wasn't promoting this last comeback. I'm So Hot, and neither was Daisy. So I mean, that's not really too surprising. Yanu had a little bit of controversy with her leaving the group a couple months ago, but then she said she wasn't. So I'm not sure what happened there.
When she's staying with the company too, she's not
Yeah,
like
she's just not in
leaving.
Momoland anymore
She's just not doing Momoland anymore, which is
because she's like
I'm like
focusing all of her attention on her acting
I
career.
guess I don't I mean I
Uh,
hope that that's like what she wants to do, and if that's what she wants to do, then that's awesome. But it's just I don't know, kind of weird to me because usually you see the idols they like try to do both, but I guess
yeah.
maybe she thinks or they think that she needs to just stick with the acting.
And so right now they're officially promoting as OT6. So
Yeah,
I don't know. It's weird. It's really weird.
it just doesn't seem like Daisy's gonna come back because you said it. She's been gone for so long, so
Yeah,
why?
I don't think it's looking good for her to come back,
Yeah,
which
I
kind of
just
sucks because she got like basically punished for a bogus reason, anyways.
yeah, she
Um,
was just dating that guy in Icon, and
but
that just put her in the basement there, and she hasn't really left. And they say they're negotiating, but I don't really know what that means.
yeah, I don't know what that means either. Uh, on a plus side, before we start the second half of the podcast, news about Eyes One's going to be coming out hopefully soon. And maybe if good news comes out, that means I'll still get my autographed Bloomiz
Yeah, it's
CD.
not. I mean, Mnet has never not given me a refund for that yet, so it's still purchased. It hasn't been shipped, but it's been purchased. So hopefully that
Hopefully,
means that they're just waiting for their award show to be done, which it is now, and they're going to just be like, yeah, they're going to come back now. which would be nice.
Actually, I guess I could check that right now and see if anyone said anything about it. But yeah, so hopefully they come back. I'd be really happy if they came back.
Yeah, I hope so. It just stinks that all this controversy had to go on right when they were about to come back, like literally days before they were coming back, and they had to literally cut all of it off, all the TV shows, all the award shows. We would be seeing so much IZ*ONE right now if they didn't get in trouble. Well, they didn't get in trouble, but if Mnet didn't get in trouble.
Yeah, because they like literally would be everywhere. Because I'd be like, it'd be obviously their comeback, so they'd be on shows promoting. They'd be doing variety shows. We already knew they were going to be on some variety shows, and they just like got pulled. So
yeah, it all got shut down, which was just depressing.
But hopefully that means they'll be back. I'll get my album. Everything will be okay. They'll promote. It'll be great.
I hope so, man. I hope so. And like I said, that album is still purchased. I have not got a refund for it, and they haven't said that it's not being shipped. It's just so.
It's in limbo.
It is. It's just sitting there. Like, I literally check it every day to see if something's happened, and it's just literally sitting there. I wonder what member you're going to get.
Dude, I don't know. I'd take anybody.
Well, that's good because it's. I think it's going to be one. So, that's like so exciting.
But it's like, I don't know. I feel like if they weren't going to come back, they would have refunded the money or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. But I don't know. That's kind of, I'm putting my hope in that, is that the fact that they haven't shipped it but haven't given me a refund means that they're coming back just later.
But I also just don't get my hopes up and then just be super sad, like sadder than I already am.
Well, it just sucks because there's only like a year of IZ*ONE left.
Yeah. But we love IZ*ONE. Hopefully they come back.
Hopefully they come back.
Man, we'd be so disappointed if they don't. Like, what are they going to do if they don't? I don't know. I don't want to get into it right now. This episode's not about IZ*ONE.
Well, I think it kind of is. It just stinks too because that means, like, when are we ever going to see Nako again?
Dude, I know. I don't even know.
Like, that is just a very sad thought right there.
Man.
Like, I guess we just have to pay attention to wherever she is with AKB48 and just, he won't be the same, but it'll still be Nako.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Hopefully they can, I don't know, maybe they'll just take all the Japanese trainees and make a super AKB48 IZ*ONE lineup, like we were talking about the other day.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
That'd be really awesome.
All right. Well, anyways, that's enough about this updated news about sadness and maybe happiness. I don't know. It's too soon to tell. We'll find out here in a couple of weeks.
We'll find out next week when we talk more about IZ*ONE.
But what are we going to do for our episode today? This episode's going to be a little...
This episode's going to be a little random. And before we get into the second half of the episode, we have a sponsor. And that is K-Pop Soul Shop. Check them out. Twitter, Instagram. They are sending us the most elite sweatshirts I've ever seen in my life with our logo and our names on the back. And once we get them, we're going to post them all over social media because they're awesome. They have all sorts of different stuff. T-shirts, hoodies, pants. For any K-pop group you want. Literally. Boy groups, girl groups. They got it all. If you use the code, we even have a special code. That's how legit K-Pop Kimchi podcast is. Just type in K-Pop Kimchi on K-Pop Soul Shop. You get 25% off your order. And guess what? It's the holidays, and you want to buy your friends K-pop stuff. Go to K-Pop Soul Shop. Do it. It's just K-Pop SEOUL Shop. Look them up. Do your thing. Get your K-pop goods from them because they are the best. And so that brings us in to our second half of the episode, which we are going to be talking about our ultimate biases. Bias.
You know what's funny? It's literally been so long since we've done this that I just completely forgot about that.
Talk about what?
Our sponsor that we had.
Oh, well, they're the best sponsor ever, so I couldn't forget about them. But dude, I'm telling you, 1 week off feels like just 10 years, man. It's so weird.
Dude, it's like, so if you like take, obviously you have the weekends off, well, you don't, but you have weekends off of work and you're like gone for like those 2 days and you come back just like normal. But if you have like one extra day off, like say you take off a Monday or something,
Yeah.
you come back and it's like, man, I've been gone for like a month. Like this is crazy. Like what's
Yeah,
everybody been up to?
yeah, yeah. No, and it's
So,
weird because I work so much for my job, like almost like all the time, that if like even today I didn't have like games or anything, so it was like weird that I was like just like it was nighttime or evening, not even night. It was like afternoon and evening, and I was like done. I'm like, whoa, what do I do with myself? It feels like I haven't worked in forever. Like
like
even like
what
one
am I
day,
supposed
yeah.
to do right now?
What do I do with my hands? But yeah, it was 1 week off was just weird. I'm glad we're back though. I was like, man, we can't, especially since we almost couldn't do it today because we thought we had another technical difficulty. I would have been like, that's not good if we miss it again. I'm going to
Yeah.
be even more sad. But our
We
second
powered
half,
through for the listeners.
we're powering through. In our second half of the episode, we're talking about our ultimate biases
We're gonna give you a
and
history
of
of our
each of our ultimate bias.
like where we started at when we got into K-pop and how we got to where we are now with our ultimate bias. And then we'll even give you like a little, so you guys get to know us, a little bit of what we look for in our biases, like what kind of idols we're like attracted to as being our biases, like our bias wreckers, and you know,
all the
obviously,
fun stuff.
yeah, obviously there's qualities that go into like picking who's your favorite and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
and you look at other groups, your favorites to other groups, and you're like, oh, a lot of these idols are actually kind of similar to what they do or how they act or stuff like that. So, I mean, I think I was trying to think like, I guess, I don't know. I guess I could say I've had like 3, maybe ultimate biases, and
Yeah,
like,
I've definitely had three.
and maybe like 4 if I count maybe like someone I first got into. But as far as like, I don't know. I mean, we could talk about it, but probably 3. I probably had 3 at this point.
Okay, well, for starters, I could definitely think I could speak for both of us when I say our first ultimate bias was definitely Fiona.
Yeah, that's definitely my first like ultimate bias.
I feel like the main reason is because that's who I had as my first ultimate bias. So obviously, when I showed you about K-pop and stuff, that's who you like saw first. So that's like really all you knew right away. It was like her.
And she was just like such a badass solo artist that she had so much music out already that was really good. So you could just like go look up Hyuna.
Yeah.
And she was obviously like world famous. And I mean, I talked about it in like our first ever episode was when I first ever saw Gangnam Style, which was like before, everybody saw that video. I didn't really even like pay attention to K-pop, but seeing that video, I thought the girl was like such a babe. I thought she was so cute. And it turned out that all these years later that was Hyuna. So that was my definite like first bias. I will say out of like a group setting, because like Hyuna I didn't like see in the group and I was like, oh, that's the one I like my eyes go to. She was like a solo artist, so I like just saw her, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, the first time I saw her was in the
Dream concert.
the Crazy music video. Well, I saw the Crazy music video before I saw her in Dream Concert 2015.
Yeah. She definitely steals the show in the Crazy music video because that's just one of the coolest videos.
That's like one of my favorite videos of all time.
It's
The outfits,
one of the
everything
best.
is great.
It's one of the best songs and videos ever. Like that is
With their bucket hats with their names on them.
like
and they're like
who doesn't want to have a bucket hat with their name on them? That's
And they're
so
like-
cool.
all black and white. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so sweet.
There's literally the concept was like black and white and just being
Just straight
super
badass.
and cooler than anybody in their way. But so yeah, like Hyuna was like, and like yeah, she was in the group, but I guess not when I first got into her. But when I saw her, she was in the group. But she's like a solo artist, so I like saw her as a solo artist. I will say she was not like my ultimate bias, but the first like idol who I saw in a group and I was like attracted to them, like oh like that's an idol I like, and like I'm picking you out of these other people was Bora from Sistar. That was kind of like one of my first experience of seeing a group and being like, okay, I want to pick my favorite member, and like that's how it worked out. So Bora,
That is true.
Bora has a special place in my heart of just kind of being like, because I feel like every K-pop fan goes through that of like, all right, here's a group, now who's my favorite one? And she was kind of the first experience I had with that. So
I remember
she gets an honorable mention of being a special bias of mine.
I remember when you bought that pack of all the Sistar people and you like took Bora's little thing. You're like, oh hey, you have these other members.
It was
like okay.
It was like pins. But yeah, Hyuna, definitely safe to say she was the first Ultimate Bias and still has a special place in everyone's K-pop hearts.
Justin was super into buying pins. He bought me a bunch of pins
Oh,
for my.
I still am.
To represent my next Ultimate Bias that I had in my line of biases, which was Wendy from Red Velvet.
That was like the first, yeah, definitely, man.
I feel like that's definitely when I watched. I think we talked about it in another episode, but when I like watched the actual group performances, I didn't really see any type of group performance outside of like the music video for Crazy.
Yeah.
Until I watched Dream Concert 2015 when they were like all live and stuff, you know.
Right.
And that's when I like first saw Wendy, and they were doing their dance to Ice Cream Cake, and I was like, wow, she's a pretty babe.
Such a good performance.
And then we saw her again do the rap part with the rap dudes. And remember I told you I thought she was like super cute. I'm like, wow, this chick's super cute. And I didn't even realize it was the same person from the other group. I just thought they were like, I don't know, multiple people.
I mean, because she had completely different clothes, completely different hair, and like, I mean, a completely different look. So, being like a first time, second time watching, you might have got a little lost in the shuffle.
True. And also, I will definitely say, it's probably just because I'm obviously in America, but I definitely have a weakness sometimes for the members that speak English, so I understand what they're saying more when they're like on shows or like they're like doing interviews and stuff.
Definitely.
And she's from Canada, so whenever we watched, dude, how much freaking stuff did we watch for Red Velvet? We watched so much Red Velvet stuff.
Probably the most. I mean, Red Velvet was the first group I like really got into a lot.
We both were like super into Red Velvet.
That was the jump because there was Dream Concert and then liking songs, like making a playlist. That's kind of how it turned out. And like really liking Hyuna. And then as far as group goes, it was like a dive into Red Velvet. Like that was the first group I was like, okay, I really love all these people.
We both really loved Red Flavor.
Oh yeah, and that's like one of the best songs ever too.
But yeah, we both were like super hardcore into Red Velvet. For the longest time, you would never even guess that we were like a multi-fandom type of fans because we just like were so hard into Red Velvet.
It was like we learned about them and we're like, okay, we're good. We don't need any other K-pop in our lives. Like we have.
Yeah, just like Red Velvet. That's it. Red Velvet.
You're like, oh, Twice who? Like, oh, Blackpink, whatever. They don't do anything.
Dude,
like,
I remember I accidentally found that video of Twice because we watched the Red Velvet video on K-Rush.
Yeah, yeah.
And the reason I watched it was because you're like, dude, check this out. Wendy's like hosting this. And it was her just like hosting her own members. And I remember I watched it a bunch. It's like super funny.
Oh, it's hilarious.
But yeah, so Wendy was doing that. So that's why I watched that. And then it was like a recommended video that came on next. And it was like this random group called Twice. I'd never heard of them before. And it's funny because I saw Twice on the thing doing whatever it was they were doing for the variety show before I even heard like any of their music. And I showed it to you. I'm like, yo, dude, check this out. This group's pretty cool. And then that's how I found out who Twice was, to be honest with you. If it wasn't for the Red Velvet video, I never would have even known who Twice was.
I like Twice was just like popular. I didn't know any of the songs, but I'd see them just like winning awards at award shows because that was like that coming into the time we are now, like getting into K-pop in the summer and then in the fall and winter, you have your year-ending award shows. So I'd see like, oh, Twice, like they would win a ton of awards. I knew nothing about them. I didn't know one song or one member's name, but I knew that they were popular because they won awards.
See, I never even saw that stuff.
Yeah, like I'd be like, because I'd honestly, I'd always be like jealous for Red Velvet because Twice would win, you know, like girl group song of the year. It's just whatever.
It's funny you say that.
And I'm like, what the heck? Why didn't Red Velvet not win? They're the best. And like,
it's funny, dude. It's funny you say that because they actually say at the beginning of the Twice thing, they're like, we're Korea's #1 girl group, and my first thought was, you're trying to tell me you're better than Red Velvet?
Yeah.
Like, hell no.
Yeah, I know. I was just like so in love with Red Velvet. I was like, no, like I don't even know who you people are. There's no way you're better than Red Velvet. And, you know, turns out they might actually be, but like at the time I had no idea. So I was like, oh, who is Twice? And then I think when the first time I got into Twice just saw Twice was on the Explore page on Instagram. It was like the Tsui fan cam page, and I saw her and I was like, wow, this girl's beautiful. And then it was Likey, and then you sent me that video, and then it just was a snowball from there. So, but I remember early on in Twice, I didn't dislike Twice at all. I was just
didn't know who they were.
just like jealous that they'd win over Red Velvet because I was like, Red Velvet is the best, and like they deserve every girl group award, and that was when I didn't even realize there was like, I mean, I knew there was other girl groups, but I didn't realize there was like a ton of girl groups like out there, like just like so many groups. Like I did was like, oh, there's like a couple, like I just was not well versed yet, and didn't learn.
I'll be honest with you. When I first learned about K-pop and started to get into it and stuff, I didn't even know Girls' Generation was really a thing. I knew that they like existed. I didn't know if they were still popular. I didn't know they were in the same company as Red Velvet. I didn't even know what company Red Velvet was in. I just knew like Red Velvet made K-pop, and Wendy spoke English and was the funniest person and the most adorable person ever.
It's true, and like that was just like what it was. Like we watched.
Like that was my K-pop world.
We watched Dream Concert. Yeah, it's true. Like we watched Dream Concert and it was awesome. And I was like, this is so cool, and I love the music. So I made a playlist, and that's like where it kind of stopped. Was like, oh, Hyuna's really awesome. Like I'll follow her social medias, and then I'll listen to my playlist. My bad, I'm like dying out here.
Which was like 70% Red Velvet. So
yeah, it was all Red Velvet, and I was like, oh, the music's cool. And then once you got into Wendy, was when we realized that like, wow, there's stuff called variety shows and dramas and just shows and music shows and behind the scenes and trips and all this stuff, and where I was like, it opened that whole door to just what K-pop really is as a whole, and just like being that experience and like sucking you in and not letting you out, and I was all for it. So really it was like essentially you being into Wendy to get us into Red Velvet, and then that just catapulted everything else, because at first it was just me listening to the songs. I didn't know there was variety shows.
I was going to say, I think that's the only reason we found variety shows is because we watched Red Velvet on one.
It was just like, yeah, and we see on like Instagram, I know, because like as you follow more and more K-pop stuff, we'd see the clips from Weekly Idol. Like it was Weekly Idol, and we're like, what is this crazy show where they're hitting each other with hammers or driving in little cars or whatever, like,
or yelling at each other with headphones on.
And I was like, oh, it's really funny. And then eventually we're like, oh, we can like find these whole episodes and watch them, and they're like on Netflix and stuff or whatever.
On YouTube.
Or just YouTube, yeah. And then, like, I remember one day we literally watched, like, all the ones Red Velvet was on. And then I was like, okay, I'm, like, hooked. I love Red Velvet. They're the best. So yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, Wendy was your first bias. And Wendy, I mean, everyone in Red Velvet has a special place in my heart, especially Wendy, because she's just softest and just, no, I don't want anything bad to ever happen to Wendy.
She's just, like, very charismatic and very, very personable.
Yeah.
She's a very likable person.
Just seems so genuinely nice, like, and like not in any type of like,
like she's not
I'm on camera.
Show, like,
yeah, I'm on camera, so I need to be nice. Just she genuinely seems like a nice person. Like, I remember watching one of their like Level Up or Revel Up, like they go on like a trip and film it, and like they got smoothies or something, and she's like offering the cameramen and the staffs and stuff like a drink, like, oh, you must be hot too. And I was like, wow, she's like such a kind person for thinking of. She always seems like she's thinking about other people.
Just the caring motherly figure we all need.
She is. She's just, and she's a great singer.
Maybe she's a great power vocalist. Great. She has so great vocals.
Let her sing more, SM.
Okay, so that's my second bias.
Did you just like kind of just, I guess you said on Dream Concert you thought she was like really cute. Was that kind of like the moment you knew, like Wendy, you were just like, oh, I didn't know if it was like it hit you in one moment or it was kind of like a gradual, like, oh, I really like Wendy.
Well, here's the thing. So when I saw them on there, the only people I talked about this in other episodes. The only people I knew was that Hyuna was in 4 Minute and they were playing Crazy, which I wanted to hear. I didn't even know the other members of 4 Minute. I mean, honestly, I don't really know the other members of 4 Minute now anyways, but it's all right.
I mean, granted, they were disbanded when, like, you know, we got into it. They were already done, so.
And then I knew SHINee was performing, what do we call it? View. So I wanted to see View. And then I just watched it, and that's when they were, like, the first group that came out. Like, they opened the whole thing. And I was like, wow, these girls are, like, adorable, and they're, like, freaking pigtails and like oversized sweatshirts and stuff.
It was very cool and Ice Cream Cake is just like that jam, like,
which was like
so
that was like
good.
their debut song. Like, I mean, this was years ago. Like, this is when they first started.
Yeah,
Um,
it
they're
was.
like they're like 3 steps away from opening up in the parking lot before the show even
Yeah,
started.
I mean, it was
Uh,
bright and early.
but after I watched that, I just remember thinking she was cute, but and then I'm like, oh yeah, cool. And I probably watched it 3 or 4 more times before I actually like, looked up like who the group was because I didn't know who the group was. Um, because it doesn't really say on the thing who it is. You know what I'm
No, it
saying?
doesn't. It just
You have
kind
to
of
like
it
look it
just
up for
kind of
yourself.
happens. Yeah.
And then I looked it up, and that's when I saw that because this is like right around when like Red Flavor had just been out for a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I watched some other music videos because I just looked up ice cream cake, and that's what came up. And that's how I found out it was Red Velvet. And then I watched like every music video that they had, and that's when I was just kind of like, wow, she's like super cool. And then I found out that's when I like looked into random interviews, and I found out that she like spoke English and stuff, and I was just kind of like, wow, like
Yeah.
it's not like bad if you can't speak English, but it's kind of like, wow, like I can connect with you, like I know what you're saying. It's like you're like talking to me, like
Right.
you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah. No.
Uh,
100%.
Because like I mean, someone could speak Hangul to me, and I'll understand like bits and pieces of it, but I'm not gonna like have like a whole conversation.
Yeah.
But like when she's like getting interviewed and saying stuff or like talking about the fans and everything like that, I'm like I know what she's saying. Like I can understand what she's saying. Like oh yeah, like okay I get it. Like yeah, you're in it for the fans. Like all this stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I mean I'm sure it's like that for people who don't speak English and they just speak Hangul or like speak very little English. It's kind of like yeah they speak English, are cool, but I understand what these people are saying, so I connect
Yeah. It's
more.
just like a person you can connect with.
And then after that, like you said, it was just like a rabbit hole I fell in. I'm still in it. It's pretty deep. I'm in the murky waters.
Only
I'm
going farther.
I'm wading down in the murky waters. It's Devil's Cut. Uh, but yeah, that's pretty much how it happened. And then after that, um, like I said, you were super in Red Velvet too. But no, pretty
I
much.
mean, literally, Red Velvet was probably my favorite group, and they still are probably number two until we saw Twice this last summer on July 22nd or 23rd, whatever it was. But um, like they were still my favorite until then, and then seeing Twice live was what put them over the top. I was like, okay, they're my favorite by far. So, but yeah, I mean, Red Velvet's awesome. That's
I mean,
bottom line. They're just really great.
I guess to answer your question, it was not love at first sight. So I mean, obviously they're all really attractive. And there's a bunch of other groups. Remember I told you I showed you the one group, Oh My Girl. I was like, yo, check out this dance they do. Like I was just kind of like all over the place. Like I didn't know who was who or what was what.
Right.
But then over time, it just kind of developed into like, wow, this is like my
Yeah. Once you like figure everything out and like realize who people are, you're like you just like understand. You
yeah.
understand
That's pretty much what happened. I mean, it wasn't like immediately I saw it. I was like, wow, this is the most not like my next ultimate bias, but before going to my basically third and final ultimate bias that I'm at right now, who was your second ultimate bias? Because we've been talking about mine for a while now.
Yeah, we went on a whole thing, but that's okay. It was just
I was like, that's like 30 minutes.
good old blast from the past, but nothing wrong with that. Mine was Hani from EXID, and kind of like it was funny because going back to
how did that even happen? 'Cause I don't even remember. No,
Dream concert, they were there, but it's funny because I mean, she was there, but I didn't really notice at first. It wasn't until we started watching the Weekly Idol episodes when she was the host with Hee Chul.
It was the mom bob, wasn't it?
She was, yeah. I mean, her hair was awesome, but it was when she was stepping in as like the guest host for a while. So they had a whole bunch of episodes. I think there was actually one with Red Velvet on there that she's the host, and like Hee Chul. I think that's why I like love Hee Chul too, because they were just like so funny on the show, and you really got to see Hani's personality and just how goofy of a person she is.
Oh, she's so funny.
Even when like it's obviously not about her; it's about the guest. So, but like she's still like you could just see her personality and all that, and so I really like started to like her there. And then it wasn't until an episode that EXID was on Weekly Idol that they were just doing something, and she had to like do a punishment, and the punishment was sorry, I'm just still dying up in here.
Man, this guy needs to.
I just need like a drink of water. But the punishment was like she had to just do like it was literally just a classic punishment of like she had to just do like a sexy dance move in like some kind of way. And then
the ultimate punishment.
Yeah, and then she literally did, and then she instantly had to do like a a cute dance move in some kind of like goofy way. And like so she did those things and we're like super embarrassed both times, and then it was like that moment. Like I could go find that. I don't know what episode, I'd have to go find it, but if I found the episode, I could find the exact moment and play it. And then it was just like the arrow going right through my heart of just being like, okay, I like really love this person. She's just funny and she's fun. And
Honey's amazing.
And she I mean, she's like a legend. I mean, she's like a K-pop legend, and just with how she was too, was she was at the point where, I mean, a lot of idols, especially starting out and stuff, they always act like perfect all the time. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but they're like funny and stuff. But
try not to mess up.
Yeah, but like Hani's just like got to the point where I guess she was famous enough, or EXID was famous enough, or she just didn't care that she would just be goofy or have like weird expressions on her face or sit like a dude, and or just like make jokes or get made fun of or get scared, and like it just, you know, she didn't care if she didn't look the greatest all the time. And she seemed very genuine, and really she was just really a joy to like watch. And obviously she's like beautiful and great looking and really talented too in EXID. That's a huge reason why I love EXID. I love all them and all their songs. But Hani really was my ultimate bias for the longest time, and the only reason she got, I mean, I have like artwork of her on my wall and a lot of photo cards and all this stuff. I wish I could have seen them live. You know, that would have been really cool, but we unfortunately didn't get to. But the only reason Hani got dethroned is because her and EXID didn't necessarily, you know, disband or break up, but they kind of stopped.
Just like went away.
Yeah, I mean, I think they actually came back or coming back with the Japanese song, so that's awesome. I'm definitely going to check that out. But they kind of were just done with what they were doing, and they were going their own separate ways to do their own separate kind of agendas and schedules, which is totally cool because they've been a group for a really long time, and that's just what you do. So, you know, obviously I'll still always love Hani and support her and whatever she's got going on, and I'm really excited to see they're coming back in Japan, but that was the only reason she got dethroned, is my ultimate bias, is because she kind of left in a way.
I will definitely say that even if you have your ultimate bias for a really long time, it's like really hard to put all your like care and focus on them when you're getting bombarded by like thousands of other idols all the time that are just always around, like promoting, being on shows. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, yeah, it's true. It's
kind of like a stack up on top of them, and you don't see them, so they just kind of get pushed to the back of your mind, and you're just kind of like, oh yeah, I forgot this person exists. You're like, oh wow, this is like my favorite person. Like,
that's why I was, you know, happy that I did have some EXID comebacks of going on, because it's tough when people just like go away and aren't doing anything because you don't see them. You're like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, you're just like, oh, and
out of sight, out of mind, right?
That's, I mean, essentially, yeah, you're just like, oh, this sucks. And then, you know, you're going to pay attention to other groups more that are actually doing stuff. You're like, oh, I really like this member. They're cool. And then they're doing stuff all the time. And so it's just like tough. But yeah, since Hani and EXID kind of took that step away, you know, she obviously holds a very special place in my heart to me. I always love her. I mean, I literally have a life-size cutout of her thanks to you.
That is true. Do you have a life-size cutout?
Like I said, I have literally like fan art of her and all this stuff, and you know, she's not going anywhere. I'm not just like, oh, I don't care anymore, but I still love her. But since she left, I was like, okay, I need to make room for a new ultimate bias that's actually like a, you know,
active artist,
active promoting K-pop artist. So yeah.
Also, random fact for you, Hani also speaks very good English.
She does. She's like really smart. She's like, and that was something I thought was very cool too. It just, you know, a cool feature. And she like played sports back in the day and was like really good at soccer, and I really like soccer. And yeah, Hani was like, she's really smart. So
yeah, really smart. She speaks English. She speaks Hangul.
She just can do it all. So, I mean, she just can do it all. And
which is actually really impressive because Wendy speaks English because she grew up in Canada. So yeah. I mean, it makes sense she'd speak English. Hani, on the other hand, went to like school. I don't remember. Was it like in China or the Philippines for a while? And that's where she learned how to speak English.
I think it might have been the Philippines.
And that's where she learned to speak English at. She still can just speak like perfect English if you like talk to her. It's crazy.
Yeah, she does a really awesome job. So
she actually has like a British accent when she speaks English, which is also kind of funny.
Yeah.
But that just might be because of where she learned how to speak English.
She's just perfect. Like, And, I don't see as many. I mean, I still see posts about her and stuff, but sometimes if I just, like, go and look at pictures of her, I'm like, oh my gosh, I still just, like, love you so much. Like,
Oh yeah,
that hasn't changed. It's just the fact that,
them feels.
yeah, the fact that she just, kind of stepped away. I had to, let someone else come up to the top to be active.
Well, I mean, as you know, I also, or we both will see stuff about Wendy 'cause she's still like an active promoting artist.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll just see stuff and I'll be like, wow, you are still just a freaking goddess out here.
Yeah, she's awesome. I mean, Wendy's
I'll,
definitely an
I'll
idol that
always,
I just love
I'll
to
always
just,
love
like,
Wendy.
yeah, just like, oh yeah, let's go hang out. Like, she seems like she'd be very fun to hang out with.
But so that pretty much covers our first and second biases, ultimate biases we've had. And now we're gonna get to like my, I guess, third and current ultimate bias I've actually had for a while. So I mean, um,
Yeah.
and that my ultimate bias now is Sungyeon from CLC, which I feel like everybody probably knows. I think I've talked about this before, but
Maybe. But that's okay. Nothing wrong with letting people know again.
now, unlike with Wendy, who I told you kind of like gradually happened over time, the first time I like sent you that post, like I mean this was years ago now. I also worked at like Target when I, not Target the store, Target a different store. When I was like just saw it on Instagram, and it was her and Eugen dancing to that ponytail song, and like their t-shirts and their like skirts, and that
Yeah.
was like, and
It's
that
just
was
like a
like
dance video.
this is like a random video they made, like a random choreo video that they made. And that I remember, I was like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, I didn't know who she was. It's like, who is this girl? And that was like literally like love at first sight. I was like, wow, you are the most attractive person I've ever seen in my entire life.
I don't think I actually knew that.
Oh yeah, it was like immediate. Like that's like, and I spent like the last like 45 minutes of work, like trying to find out who she was, and I didn't do any work at all. And then I didn't know she was an idol. I thought maybe she was just like some random, because you know how there's always like
Like a dance teacher or something. Like,
dance people doing stuff and shit, or doing stuff. Sorry for our young listeners, if anyone young is out there listening. uh, but I looked into it, found out that they were CLC, or she was from CLC. Then I looked them up and I was like, wow, I hope this is like an active group so I can like see stuff from them. And actually, the first thing I saw from them was Hobgoblin, because that's like what everybody obviously loves, Hobgoblin.
right.
And I remember seeing her on there, and I'm like, there's no way this is the same person that I saw in the ponytail video. And then that's when I found the I Like It music video, and I was like, wow, this is like the best song, and like everything about it. That's like my favorite song, music video, just anything ever. So I Like It by CLC. But yeah, that's, I think, might be why also I'm like a huge fan of the like kind of more innocent, not as dark concepts that they always did, that they did, because I know a lot of people don't like it. Like that's like their least favorite like era of CLC, but I like love it. That's like one of my favorites. But
Yeah.
it might also have to do with, in that video she was like just an innocent, cute looking girl. She wasn't like, didn't have like dark makeup or like dark clothes or like any of that kind of stuff going on. But yeah, so Sangyeon from CLC, I saw her in the video. It was like a freaking 30-second long video on Instagram. I found it on YouTube. I scrolled through like 80 comments to find out who it was. Love at first sight, and she's been my bias ever since.
Yeah, I didn't even know that, actually. Like, I knew she was your bias, obviously, but I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah, immediate. Like I mean, like seriously, like immediate. I remember watching videos so many times. Like on Instagram, I'm just like, who is this person?
I mean, I remember the video. Like, I remember that dance video. I just
Like,
didn't.
who are you?
I just didn't remember what. I didn't know that was like an instant. Like, she was the number one team after that.
Oh, immediately.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that.
Immediately. And then the rest is history. I'm trying to think about, but then obviously ever since then, you and I both watched a ton of CLC stuff.
Right.
And she's just like overall, she's like another one of those members that's like really like likable. She has like high energy. She's like super goofy. She doesn't like care about making mistakes or like
Yeah.
making a fool of herself. Like she'll just do whatever she feels like doing. Um, Also funny, she also speaks atrocious English. It's like one of the worst I've ever heard in my whole life.
She
But
tries
when,
her she tries her hardest though.
oh yeah, but when she actually tries to speak English and she like can barely do it, it's like the most adorable thing in the entire world. Uh, but yeah, I love Songyeon. She's my favorite. She's my number one bias. She's my old bias. There's been a lot of contenders coming to take her crown, but she's holding it down. I don't think anyone's ever gonna topple her off the top of the mountain here.
She's been up there for a really long time now.
Oh yeah, and I was gonna say it's been like years, man. Like it's 2019, right?
Yeah,
So it's probably been like a good
at least
what
like 2, 3
two,
years.
3 years.
So that's a
Um,
very good run at the top.
oh yeah. Yeah, Songyeon. If you're listening to Songyeon, I love you. You're the best. Never change.
Come to America so we can see you guys.
Come to America. Let me give you my money and buy you things.
Yeah,
Uh,
the ultimate gift.
yeah, I know, right? Let me buy you makeup so you can do more makeup videos on your YouTube channel that you never post up to anymore.
Yeah, I wonder
Uh,
why not. I don't know. Maybe she's
Probably because
just
they're busy. I don't know.
they are busy. They're very busy. So
But we appreciate you. You're a great leader. Chess stars love you. Um, Never change, even though you lost your phone. The best is when she like does stuff and then they make fun of her and she just like laughs at herself like she doesn't care.
she just knows how to handle the kids.
Yeah, she doesn't care. Um, but yeah, that's my ultimate bias. My current and forever ultimate bias. Songyeon, CLC.
Woo, she did it. Even though she's been doing it a really long time. So
Yeah, I
no
didn't even
no
realize it's been a
surprises
long
there.
time.
Yeah, no surprises there. Sung Yun's holding it down for the underground.
She really is. Now, who's your ultimate bias? Your last ultimate bias? Your current ultimate bias?
My current ultimate bias, which I think I've said before too, is Momo from Twice. And it's funny because I talked earlier about Twice, how I was like, who is this? Why are they winning awards? And now, my ultimate bias is from Twice, and they are probably my ultimate group too. But yeah, it's Momo. I've liked Momo a really long time. It's not like there wasn't like an instant moment when it was like Momo stepping in and kicking Hani out of the way to the curb. Like that didn't happen. Like Momo was my second favorite idol for a long time. Really, from when I started getting into Twice and just paying attention to them more and seeing her as like Laura Croft in
Oh yeah,
Cheer
that's
Up.
freaking
I
awesome.
was like, that was just because everyone else in that video, like mostly everybody else in that video, has like some kind of like goofy, funny thing, and then she comes in and she's Laura Croft with these guns. I think she's Laura Croft, and she's like, just looks super badass and super cool. And then seeing the really her dance breaks too from Likey, and I don't know why I can't.
Wow.
Ooh, ah, yeah, like the dance breaks were just really just the dancing was just like so cool too, and she really just won me over with her talent and how much of a dance like how much of a powerful presence she was, just like literally just like standing, like she just like has an aura about her, just like powerful and you want to pay attention to her. But then in reality, when she comes off stage and she's not doing all of her crazy dance moves or singing or whatever, she's just a very, very goofy, like lighthearted, funny person that gets along with all the idols really, really well and all of her members, and she loves all of her members super, like a ton, and she's just really funny. She just seems
Uh,
really soft. Like that's
One of
like
the goofiest, most innocent idols of all time.
just so goofy, just so goofy. Like I don't want to say like airheaded because that's mean, but she just seems so goofy. But then when she gets on stage, she just like flips that switch and it's just this powerhouse, dominant, best K-pop dancer in the world machine that you cannot stop. And then she's off stage and she's just like making fun of Sana or something like that. Momo has just really, she really won me over. And it was like, I mean, she was like my second favorite for a long time. So once Hani stepped away and was done, I was like, all right, well, this is a graduating team. So now, Momo, you graduate into the number one position. So it wasn't really like a moment. It was when I started getting into Twice and just seeing her and just like paying attention to her more. I was like, wow, I think I'm just really in love with this person. And then obviously she was already my ultimate bias, but the icing on the cake was seeing her like in person and being able to like, that's actually really crazy to think about now, like actually being able to interact with her a little bit
Dude,
just
you touched her hand.
with like the high touch and like saying hi to her and stuff when we like got the group photo and all that stuff and like showing her my shirt with her on it and her laughing and stuff like that. That really solidified it all. Of just like, okay, I know. I mean, I already knew, but I was like, okay, Momo is just, she's the greatest. And I mean, I know a lot of people love Momo too, and rightfully so, because she's just excellent. And I don't know, she's just the best. And sometimes it's like all you can really say about the idols. You're just like, oh, they're really funny and they're the best, and it just is true because I don't know.
Honestly, when you find that one idol that's like your ultimate bias that you just will be your bias forever, they just give you so many emotions and feelings you like can't even put into
Well,
words.
it's just it is like kind of like having a crush on someone. Like you can't just like you can't just like break it down and be like, oh, well, they do this way and this way and this way and like
It's just kind of
scientific.
like everything.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
not
like
like
this.
science. It's just like, well, I know when I see a picture with them or a video of them, I'm just like super happy, and that's awesome.
Yeah, like
And
on my like days where I feel like super sad or down, I'll like just watch like random videos of CLC doing things and like Sonya doing things. I'm just like, wow,
yeah,
everything's okay.
and that definitely goes for like all the groups and like all of Twice too. I love all of Twice so much. Like they're all
They're so funny.
like they're the best. Like they're my favorite. But like Momo above that is even just like she just makes me happy, and she's just funny and seems like she'd be really cool to hang out with, really cool to just like play pranks on people with, and just be super chill. She seems very chill too. Like when she's not on the performance, she's just like taking selfies, chilling in like a hoodie, all this stuff. Seems very relaxed, which I don't know. Just I'll add all that into just who she is, and you know she seems like a really awesome person.
Also, for those of you who don't know, both of our main biases are lead dancers in their group or main dancers in their group, and they both just are such good dancers. They just like know how to move. It's like hypnotizing.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, obviously you can sit there and be like, wow, like they're really like they have really sexy dance moves because they do sometimes. Like obviously they're very attractive, but sometimes even like you're just like so overwhelmed with the talent. Even more so, I'd say you're just like so overwhelmed with how talented they are, and you literally can't stop watching them because they're so good at dancing. And
They're
I
just
think
really
that's
good at it.
yeah, they're just like so good at what they do, and they're like some of the best in the whole world. And I think that's just like a really cool thing watching someone do something that they love and be so good at it and being literally the best at it is just like that's cool watching someone like go perform their passion like that. You know what I mean? Like I think like for Sungyeon and Momo and like a lot of the other idols too, just like seeing them out there doing their thing is just cool to watch.
What's one of your favorite Momo moments?
Oh man, that is a fantastic question. She had a V Live with Sana. This was like really old, but they had a V Live and like she just like you just I don't even know what it would be called, but she just has to she like accuses Sana or Sana accuses her of like flirting with her. And she's like, you shouldn't flirt people with people like that very easily. And they pretty much just give each other these really goofy looks and just it's just like really, really funny. And then another one was in one of the weekly idols when she does like Neko 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 for Chul and he
Dude,
just like loses his
yes.
mind. That's just like so funny too. There's really like a lot of moments. I know
That's what I was thinking of. I was hoping you'd say that.
yeah, it's just like legendary. And then with, like the K Rush in one of the K Rushes when they're introducing themselves, she like fake gets hit in the head with the camera. She's like, "Oh," and she's just like she's just really goofy. She's really it's just like those little moments that you remember that are just like special to you that you really remember. But I mean, there's literally YouTube videos of like hours of goofy moments. So, but those are some off the top of my head that I'm like, okay, I remember those.
Man, good times. She's a funny person. She's
Yeah,
goofy.
she's really goofy. I think that's just probably one of the things that gets me every time is when an idol is just really really goofy.
I'd have to say one of my favorite Songyeon moments was when I was watching their V Lives all the time, because I downloaded the V Live app just so I could like watch their comeback when they came back with No. But leading up to it, they all had like each day that each individual members like did a V Live, and there's one of her, and she literally was just like, "Oh yeah, I got this iced americano because they love americanos over there." And then she's like, "Oh yeah, I saw this little guy sitting over there on the counter by himself." She goes, "I don't know whose it was, so I just took it." And she like took somebody else's drink and just brought it with her.
Dude, that's a bold move, man.
Yeah, I know. I was like, "Wow, you're freaking awesome. Live your life, man."
It's just stuff like that. It's just like moments that get you and just like get you just like fall for that idol even more. You're just like, oh, and then they just like do one thing or one look or one like goofy thing they say, and you're just like, oh, well, that just hooked me in even deeper.
The other funny moment was when she lost her cell phone when they went to on their recent like trip to like, was it Thailand or was it, I don't remember if it was Thailand or Indonesia or something, but she like lost her cell phone and like they're typing in like English words into like their phones. So it's like Jang Sung Young lost her cell phone, stupid, and she's like just made the dumbest faces like repeating what they said. It was so freaking funny.
I remember that video. That video was freaking hilarious.
Song Hee is just merciless. She like
She was so mean.
she like just was bagging all that for the longest time. But like Song just made like the dumbest faces, was like repeating it. It was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, she thought it was like super hilarious too.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Cube for giving her dance videos every month.
That's
Even
always
even though they're
awesome
like
to look forward
a
to.
minute long. Like, can I get more than a minute? Like, geez.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. You think they'd be longer at this point?
Man. You know what really cemented her as my favorite idol of all time?
What?
Seeing her in that outfit in the I Like It video.
The I Like It video is just so good for everybody. It's such a good
Oh,
song.
man. And like the little like tennis skirts on the basketball court.
It's like really not even a crazy music video, but it's just one of the best.
The GOAT. It
It's
doesn't get better than that. I literally have a playmat that has a picture on it.
yeah, I mean it is an ideal like song. It is so good.
Man, there's just so many other moments. I like can't even think. I'm like super dead, but there's like so many other moments that I wish I could remember right now. But yeah,
Yeah,
when
but
you know, you know.
when you yeah, I mean that's pretty much what it is. When you know your favorite idol, when that favorite idol finds you, you know, and you just fully accept them.
For all you guys, if you've never seen the ponytail video, I'll upload it or I'll repost it on Instagram. You guys can watch it.
Yes, go watch it because it's awesome.
Honestly, when you think about it, I always say my number one bias wrecker out of everybody is Yujin, and Yujin was the other girl that was in the music video with her.
That's actually really funny. I didn't even think about that. I didn't even
Never
put two
really,
and two together.
I never really thought about it, but yeah, it's Yujin and Sungyeon dancing together.
That's really, really funny, actually.
It's crazy.
That whole video just did so much for you, bias-wise.
I know. Apparently, that video just changed my entire life.
I really did. Like, thank goodness for that video.
Man, I still remember I honestly, like, I can vividly remember in my head the first time I like accidentally saw it while I was supposed to be working at work, and I was just like, "Wow, goddess, who are you?"
Yeah, I mean, that's how it happens.
And I like dedicated the rest of my day to finding out who it was.
Dude,
Oh,
good. And
yeah.
that's why you're such a huge CLC fan, too, so.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm like a huge CLC fan. I mean, uh, I'm super deep in the fandom. I even got a CLC tattoo.
You do? It's awesome.
Tattoo.
It's
Forever.
really, really cool.
I don't know if that really makes me a super big fan or not, but now people know where I stand on
I think it helps.
my stand. If people are like, "Oh yeah, you're not a real fan," I'm like, "Come at me, bro.
I have a tattoo.
Come at me, bro."
I think that definitely gives you fan points.
But I really hope I get to see them one day live before they disband. If I had the
hope
time and the money, I'd literally just go to Korea and watch them. I mean, maybe I'll be able to do that sometime. We'll see.
Hopefully one day we'll be able to see CLC.
Oh man, that'd be the greatest day of my entire. I don't even know what I'd do. Like I thought seeing Twice was like awesome, but you're obviously a way bigger Twice fan than I am. But man, I don't know what I'd do if I got to see CLC live.
Hopefully we find out.
Yeah, I know, man. Just thinking about that right now, just like blowing my brain.
You just like melt.
I'd probably just black out. I wouldn't remember any of it.
And just not even see it. You'd be too excited.
Oh, I'd be so hyped, dude. I'd be like freaking out. I'd be
That would
way
be
more excited
awesome.
for that than any other show we've ever been to.
That would be amazing. That would be awesome.
And I mean, I was pretty excited to see us set my friends on fire with those other 6 people, so that's saying a lot.
Yeah, I know. That was pretty in the sold out show of 7 people.
Yeah, that was a crazy mosh pit. I guess to end this, we can, since we listed who our ultimate biases were, obviously we all have biases in each group. Like, we on our last episode we talked about like who our favorite members of like the 12 groups we listed are, but like there it seems to be like a trend. Like there's a certain type of personality or character I always seem to be more drawn to than like other members, and I could usually tell like I don't know if I do it subconsciously or consciously, but like I'll watch a video or like like a variety show or something,
Yeah.
and I can like tell right away. I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's the one that I'm probably gonna be like my bias. Like,
Right, right.
are you the same way?
Yeah, I'd say like looking at some of the other idols that I'm like a big fan of, it's yeah, definitely.
I will say some of the characteristics of my biases are like they're usually very like kind of the bouncy, energetic, I guess kind of peppy idols, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like they're kind of like just balls of energy, and they're always just kind of upbeat, and they're kind of like I don't know, like giggly and happy. I guess honestly, if I would imagine, it'd be like, but the ideal person you'd see in like a teenage movie is like a cheerleader or something.
Yeah, just super super fired up all the time.
Yeah, like I mean, a great example is like Sonyeon's like that. She's always got energy. Or like Jiwon, she's always like that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's like generally, I guess, the type of idol characteristics I'm drawn to is like my biases in groups. What about you?
I think something that always gets me, just always hits me is something that I like about the idols is when they are like the dancer, mainly because I just think dancing is really cool. So when someone is like all the idols are good at dancing, but when it is like the dancer and like that's their job and they just go out there and kill it, really on like random dance plays or just anything, and they just get out there and just like bust their moves and it's like awesome. That is always something that just like really wins me over like very very quickly, like probably more than anything else besides maybe like looks initially, because like that's what you see at first, but like
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody's. I mean,
and like
anyone who says they
and
don't
like
pick somebody off
everyone's
of
like
looks is
beautiful
kind of.
too, like everyone's a beautiful human being, like that's just all the guys, all the girls, like they're all just beautiful human beings. But like when the idols get up there and just like dance and kill it, like that is always something that really really wins me over. That's why I think I really love like Sogi a lot, and why I really love like Cheon and IZ*ONE, and Chungha. Just like I'm a huge fan of Chungha, and that's like what she did too. So I'm always like a sucker for the dancers. That's something that kind of gets me, and I think just personality wise, I think even for like Chungha and Sogi and kind of Momo too, is like they're very goofy people, but outside of just being like on the stage and stuff, they actually are just kind of more like laid back a little bit. Like they obviously have fun and love to joke around and stuff, but they're not just going to be like running around and like screaming or just, they're a little more like chilled and
Yeah,
relaxed and maybe just like chilling
that's
on their
more like
phone.
me.
Yeah, like
That's more my type.
yeah, like going and chill. Like, I mean, like Chungha literally just like goes watch movies, or like Solgi just like on her phone. Like just some of the videos you see of like shows kind of their dorm life and stuff, they're just like chilling. They're just like doing their thing. And I think that's something that's just kind of cool, how they can kind of like flip that switch into being the beasts that they are at their job and all that stuff. So I think that's just another characteristic. And like even like Serum from Fromus 9, she's kind of like, I mean, everyone in Fromus 9 is very energetic, but she's kind of like a little more chilled out than everybody, just kind of like, I guess maybe because she's the leader. So she has to keep everyone a little bit calmed down. So that's a quality that gets me a lot too. That's really only one you see when you watch like shows and stuff. That's not necessarily when you see like on stage, but I think it hits me like a brick sometimes.
It's really weird because I didn't really think about it until I told you a little bit ago when we were like going over our bias. Like this is before we even made the podcast. When we were like talking about making the podcast.
Yeah.
And that's when we realized that like all my biases just happen to be like the main vocalists of like the groups.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really weird. I don't know how that happened, but because it's not like I mentally like do it. It's even like what was it? There's like a performance group that was just like dancers basically, and even my favorite member of that group was literally the main vocalist of the group, and they don't even like
I think
sing.
that was just like the weirdest coincidence of all time.
Like literally all of them were like the main vocalist. It's really weird. I don't know why. Maybe I just subconsciously am kind of gravitate towards that or something. I don't know.
Maybe,
like,
I don't know.
I don't know. They're just like the happy, peppy, adorable girl next doors, like like Leah and Nayoung from Goo Goo Dolls, or like even Mina from Goo Goo Dolls, and
Yeah.
Gia from Oh My Girl, or Wendy or Sungyeon, or
Yeah.
it's funny how well, obviously we love all the idols, but we have just, I don't, like I said, I don't know if it's a subconscious thing or just, I don't know, but how our preferences are just like so completely different.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's just everyone's into what they're into, I guess.
Because you, like I said, you like the ones like chill, just like hanging out, doing whatever. But obviously, if you like saw a video of that happening, you saw someone running around in the background like screaming stuff. 10 out of 10 times, it's probably my favorite member, and ten out
Yeah,
of ten times, they're probably the main vocalist of the group. So
it's true. It's
it's
true.
weird. Uh, Now, on the other hand, one thing that's like, so everyone, obviously, if you have a biased wreckers. Now, for your biased wreckers, do they tend to be the same way, or do they tend to be like different?
It's kind of, I don't know. I think for a long time, honestly, a long time, I don't even know if I could like name one bias wrecker right now. I'm just like, yeah, this person's coming because I don't really have one that's just like coming for that spot, the top spot. But for a long time, honestly, like Wendy was there just because of how cool Wendy was and how like nice and motherly she was. I was like, she just seems like she'd be the ultimate girl, like she's the ultimate human being. So she was always in a position to just be like someone who would maybe steal some shine off my ultimate bias. But I think for the most part, the I guess the idols who kind of come next or the bias wreckers are kind of similar for me. Like they're kind of the same
They're
as
kind of like
what
the
I
same
like.
personality and stuff, but
Yeah,
just
sort of. Yeah, like they're kind of the similar, just to how like my ultimate bias would be. What about you?
oh well, my ultimate bias wrecker, I guess, kinda is the same. It's like, because I said my ultimate bias wrecker all the time is Eugen.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, she's very similar to Songyeon. Like she's like very energetic, but she's kind of, where Songyeon is kind of like not the whole. Oh, another, here we go. Another trait of all my biases really is they either are really bad at doing aegyo or they hate doing it.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
they're not, like, they don't like it. I don't know why, but I mean, they're adorable people and they always make like adorable faces and stuff. But if they ask to do aegyo, they like either are really bad at it or they just like hate it and they don't want to do it.
yeah,
But Eugen's like the complete opposite. Like she's like just wants to be like the adorable fake Maknae and just do aegyo, be cute all the time.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but outside of her, I'd say my main bias wreckers, as you know, are like the ones that are like super motherly. Like I love the mom vibes from all
yeah,
the so most of my main bias wreckers, if they're not my bias, are like the older members that like taking care of like the younger members, or like are really caring and like I guess like nurturing of them, and
yeah,
like make
yeah,
them feel like protected and stuff, and like make sure they're okay.
yeah.
I don't know why, but I just freaking love the mom vibes. That's like my main bias wrecker. So my biases are the ones that are wild and out of control, and my bias records are the ones that are like more chill and mom like, I guess.
That's really funny.
Like two completely different things.
I mean, sometimes you don't know why, but that's just how it is, and that's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I guess that's how it is. Unless you're Eugen, then for some reason you just, man, Eugen is just the ultimate bias wrecker.
Yeah, and sometimes you like don't have to have the answers. You're just like okay with it. You're like, yeah, this person's here, and I can't tell you why, but I love them.
I mean, like I said, obviously you have your main bias in each group. In each group, you have a bias wrecker, kind of, that's like, yeah, this is my favorite person, but this other person could definitely like take them down, if it came down to it, or
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
um, I'd say a perfect example of that is like my bias in Twice. I always said my bias in Twice is Geo, and I love Geo, but recently Jonghyun has, and I've always told you before that Jonghyun's always been like right behind her. Like it's not been like,
Right.
wow, she's dead last, now she's like number one.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
Jonghyun's overtaken her recently. They kind of flip flop back and forth, but they're both kind of like the more mature, like mom vibe kind of person. So I mean,
Right.
uh, I guess that would make sense. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like out of all my groups, that's the one where they like mostly flip back and forth between which one's my favorite. But it's
Right,
Jonghyun
right.
right now. Jonghyun's awesome. She's
Dude.
also super goofy.
Yeah, she really is. She would be a
loves
blast
causing
to
trouble.
Yeah, she's really funny.
But yeah, she always does funny stuff. She loves messing with the other members, like doing like jokes and
It's
stuff.
hilarious. It's hilarious.
So she kind of has like that caring adult like vibe, but also like the little kid like prankster vibe to her.
Yeah, she really is like a prankster out there. It's really, really funny.
Her and Nia both, they just love to pull pranks on people.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
But yeah, so there you go. That kind of gives you a little in-depth, I guess, look into
An
what
in-depth look
was
into K-pop Kimchi's biases, ultimate biases.
I'm sure we'll have more episodes later on about.
I feel like we could have done the whole episode just about that and like kept going too. Even like there's no like endless. We have like an endless amount of words for how much we love our favorite idols and all idols in general. So really, we could just do this all day or all night.
We really could, but I mean, it's what, like 2 in the morning right now?
Yeah, it's probably time to wrap this one up.
It's getting pretty late.
It is getting kind of late. So we will do that. You plug your social media first, and I'll plug mine, and that will be it.
Yeah, you can follow me or message me on Instagram or Twitter at FogRaw, TOHB. Our Instagram account is Kpop Kimchi 101. I post stuff on there. I do most of the stuff on the Instagram these days, but yeah, I post stuff on there, so I'll post about this as soon as the episode goes up if you guys are going to check it out. Although I guess if you're listening to this, you are, so.
Thank you, and good for you.
Check out the other episodes.
Check out all our episodes. Yeah, you can find me, JUSTINTOHB is my Instagram, and Kpop Kimchi 101 is our Twitter. This episode will definitely be there too. If you are a returning listener, thank you. And if you're new, thank you too. We love everybody, anyone that pays attention to us. Thank you so much. I think that'll do it though. For Brian, I'm Justin. Peace.
Later.